Minimalism has gotten quite popular in the last few years. Some see it as a trend that will slowly go away, and some see it as an interesting thing to try. I'm one of them. I've been a minimalist since last year, and while it had plenty of benefits on me, the biggest one by far was clearly me being way more productive than I ever was. Let me explain. The average adult spends 6 hours cleaning his place every week. 6 times 4.4, the average number of weeks in a month, is roughly 26 hours. That means that you're cleaning more than 26 hours per month when it could be less than 15. I mean, except if you're not very clean. And God only knows what you could have done during those 26 hours. It's a whole day. The main reason why minimalism can help you to be more productive is because of how your environment will be decluttered. You'll spend less time cleaning, and therefore your mind will be able to focus on the important things. I used to have a lot of clothes that, for most of them, I did not even wear at all. Same goes for the paperworks and the old homeworks from a few months ago that are just like sitting on my desk and doing nothing, just being here. There is so many examples of what you could get rid of that will make you spend way less time cleaning. And you know what they say, the more items you have in your room, the more dust you're going to get. Did you know that living in a dusty environment was directly related to diseases like pneumococcosis, silicosis, lungs infections, and a lot more? And that is not fun at all. I hope that this convinced you that having a clutter-free room is actually good for your health. Having a cluttered room and just living in a dusty environment in general is actually bad for your health, but also bad for you in the long run because of, like we said, the amount of time you're wasting per month is insane. Now let's move on to something else. Let's say you have an important task to do for tomorrow. Let's say you actually have a test for tomorrow. You finish your day, you get home, and you notice these old photos sitting on your desk. You start to browse every single one of them, reminding yourself how meaningful were those moments to you. Boom, 25 minutes flew by already. Then you notice you haven't put some of your clothes from yesterday back in the closet. You then do it. 10 minutes flew by already. You're now feeling tired because of what you just did. You go to bed, you stay on your phone for a few hours until going to sleep and thinking that you'll have time to revise for your test tomorrow morning. But we all know that's not true. I've been there and we've pretty much all been there. I will be a lie if I say that I've never been there. Everyone experiences it at least once. But my point is, being a minimalist and therefore having a clutter-free room means that your brain will most likely focus on the things you want to focus on rather than just being distracted by other things. Why? Because as a minimalist, you just don't have any distractions in your room. Because, well, yeah, if you didn't have those family pictures on your desk, maybe you would have just started revising for your test for tomorrow. Who knows? Though there is a lot of people that wrongfully think that minimalism just is about having a clutter-free room. Well, let me tell you, this is far more powerful than that. Let me explain. The average adult makes around 35,000 conscious decisions throughout the day. You, like me, are going to get through them. This means that, well, it's pretty logical, but at the end of the day, when your brain has made those 35,000 decisions, it will be pretty much tired as hell. At the time, the capacity of being productive and learning new things is close to none, which is why we often completely forget what the article we read before sleeping was about, or what the lesson we revised before going to sleep talked about. All of this without even mentioning the absurd amount of information our brain gets exposed to every single day. Social media plays the biggest role into giving us constant flow of information we don't really need, like what your friend ate for dinner or why your friend's dog just died. We don't care. You get it. There's a lot of infos going in and out of your brain throughout the day. And when I say a lot, I really mean a lot. The goal is to have in a day as less as decisions as possible, so that you will end up making the good decisions throughout the day. Because, well, yeah, the more decisions your brain is exposed to, the less you're likely to make good decisions throughout the day. And that's where minimalism comes. Waking up or coming home from work to a decluttered room with just the essential objects around you will make your brain process less information, therefore save a lot of decisions throughout the day. Constantly seeing all your stuff in your room, subconsciously or not, makes your concentration abilities worse than they could be. I suggest you to try living in a simple and clean environment for a few weeks to notice the change it can have on your mindset. Living in an uncluttered environment clearly makes decision making much faster and much better. Not to mention that mornings are definitely the most important part of the day. If you wake up in a cluttered environment, the second you wake up, your brain will start to process a lot of information and make some decisions, and that's clearly not what you want. Another interesting example is how I've personally chose to just sell all of the books I finished reading because They was just always stacking up on my shelf, and to be honest, I knew that I was never going to read them again. One of the reasons why I kept them was also because I wanted people to see that I was reading books. But I realized quickly how stupid this was, so I decided to sell them all. Another reason why I decided not to keep my books after finishing them is because of Shortform, which is today's sponsor of the video. Shortform is an avenue website that gives you access to thousands of books, guides, and summaries for the price of one book per month, which, when you think about it, is pretty damn nice. As someone who values time management a lot, I personally use Shortform to learn what the best self-development and finance books has to offer without having to read them all. The guides and the summaries on Shortform are super well made. In fact, I read the book called Never Split the Difference on Shortform, which is supposed to make you learn how to negotiate like a pro. Speaking of which, the book actually helped me a lot, and I think you guys should read it. For example, I learned about the importance of using the right tone when negotiating, making people feel safe, and also the whole power of cognitive biases, which is super interesting. And since you guys probably value time as much as I do, I feel that Shortform is the way to go. From self-development to finance to love and relationship books, you have everything for you. And every week there's dozens of new guides and summaries of every book. And guess what? The people actually vote for the next books that are about to get summaries. By joining Shortform through my link, you will get 5 days of unlimited access and you will get 20% off the actual discounted annual price. This literally means that it's more than half off on the year. If I was you, I don't think I will skip the opportunity. Anyways, back to the video. When you try to complete many tasks in one day, you will most likely not be able to devote your full focus and energy on each and every task. As a result, you'll make mistakes, produce lower quality work, and just overall spend more time correcting your work. And the same logic applies to your brain. The more information it processes, the less likely it will make good decisions throughout the day. Oh, and one last thing that might sound stupid and of course obvious is being in a clutter-free environment just overall feels good. Like, come on, I feel like this advice is super underrated, but it's so powerful. Who the hell wants to work in a room like this? If you're coming home from work and see your desk already cluttered, you just don't want to work on your side projects you've been working on for the last few days, because the environment doesn't make you want to work. This is literally a universal truth. The better your work environment is, the better your work will be. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you should sell all of your possessions to be the next Dalai Lama, of course not. Actually, a pretty major misconception people have about minimalism is that minimalists literally don't own nothing, which is not true. For example, this could be considered as a minimal room. Why? Because minimalism is all about having the essentials. If the owner of that room actually considers all of the objects in here to be his essentials, he can consider himself as a minimalist. That's as simple as that. Thankfully, of course, there are some limits to that rule, because, well, yeah, in that room, even if the guy told me that all of these objects were considered as his essentials, I don't think I would actually believe him that much. So yeah, minimalism is all about living better with less. Thanks for watching. Leaving a like if you actually enjoyed the video will mean the world to me, and if you hated the video, well, it's also fine. See you guys in the next one.